Hi everyone. Welcome back to Living Wisdom and Dharma World. Today, we delve into the timeless teachings of Buddhism and explore profound insights for spiritual growth and transformation. In this episode, we unravel the fascinating concept of reincarnation, a cornerstone of Buddhist philosophy that goes beyond mere metaphysics. Reincarnation in Buddhism is not about the journey of a fixed soul, but the dynamic flow of consciousness shaped by karma, intention, and action. We'll trace its roots from ancient Indian traditions, examine its unique interpretation by the Buddha, and uncover how it aligns with core principles like impermanence, non-self, and dependent origination. Along the way, we'll explore its practical significance in ethical living, spiritual practice, and liberation from samsara, the endless cycle of birth and death. Whether you're curious about the spiritual mechanics of rebirth, the karmic forces that shape our lives, or the ultimate goal of enlightenment, this episode offers a rich, thought-provoking journey into Buddhist wisdom. Join us as we illuminate the path to understanding reincarnation and its role in achieving freedom from suffering and transformation of consciousness. Understanding reincarnation in Buddhism. Reincarnation, or the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, as it is more commonly referred to in Buddhism, is a cornerstone concept that underpins much of Buddhist philosophy and practice. It is intricately woven into its teachings on samsara, karma, and liberation. Originating from ancient Indian spiritual traditions, reincarnation predates Buddhism and was already an integral part of the Vedic worldview. The earliest mentions of reincarnation are found in the Upanishads, sacred Hindu texts dating back to 800–400 BCE. These texts explore the soul's journey through successive lives, guided by the law of karma, the principle of cause and effect. However, Buddhism presents a unique and profound interpretation of this concept, emphasizing the interdependence of actions, intentions, and consequences. In the Buddhist understanding, reincarnation is not the transmigration of a fixed, eternal soul, but rather the continuation of a dynamic stream of consciousness. This stream is influenced by karma, or the moral and volitional actions performed by beings. The Buddhist teachings, encapsulated in the Pali Canon and Mahayana Sutras, provide extensive guidance on the nature of reincarnation, its mechanisms, and its implications for liberation from samsara, the cycle of birth and death. The origin and historical context of reincarnation. The theory of reincarnation has its roots in ancient Indian philosophy. Long before the emergence of Buddhism, the concept was prevalent in Hinduism, where it was linked to the idea of an eternal soul, or Atman, that transmigrates from one body to another. The Upanishads, foundational texts of Hindu philosophy, discuss this process extensively, framing it within the context of cosmic justice and the pursuit of moksha, or liberation. When Buddhism emerged in the 5th–68th century BC, Siddhartha Gautama, who would later become the Buddha, sought answers to life's profound questions. He encountered these prevailing ideas. However, through his enlightenment under the Bodhi tree, he realized a nuanced truth. While rejecting the notion of an eternal, unchanging soul as proposed in Hinduism, instead introducing the concept of anatta, or non-self, the Buddha offered a nuanced understanding of rebirth. He taught that what reincarnates is not a soul, but a causal continuum of mental and physical phenomena. He emphasized the continuity of consciousness rather than a fixed self, describing the process as akin to a flame transferring from one candle to another. This insight transformed the understanding of reincarnation, aligning it with the core Buddhist principles of impermanence, anicca, and dependent origination, panicca samuppada. The historical context of the Buddha's teachings reveals a world deeply entrenched in caste systems and ritualistic practices. Reincarnation was often used to justify social hierarchies, with higher castes claiming superior karmic merit. The Buddha's radical reinterpretation of the concept challenged these norms, emphasizing that liberation was accessible to all, regardless of birth or social status. As he stated in the Vasala Sutta, Sutta Nipada 1.7, not by birth is one a Brahmin, nor by birth is one an outcast. By deeds alone one becomes a Brahmin. By deeds alone one becomes an outcast. The importance of reincarnation in Buddhism. Reincarnation plays a pivotal role in Buddhism, not merely as a metaphysical concept, but as a framework for ethical living and spiritual growth, serving a dual purpose. First, it underscores the transient nature of existence and the consequences of actions, karma. Second, it provides the framework for understanding the ultimate goal of Buddhism, liberation from samsara. Without the recognition of reincarnation, the urgency of ethical living and spiritual practice might diminish, as one's actions would seem to bear no future consequences beyond a single lifetime. Understanding reincarnation fosters a sense of accountability, as every action, karma, creates ripples that influence future existences. This awareness encourages practitioners to cultivate wholesome deeds, thoughts, and intentions, paving the way for favorable rebirths and, ultimately, liberation. The significance of reincarnation is evident in the Four Noble Truths, the foundation of Buddhist practice. The first truth acknowledges the pervasive nature of suffering, dukkha, in samsara. The second truth identifies craving and ignorance as the causes of this suffering, perpetuating the cycle of rebirth. The third truth offers hope, asserting that cessation, nirvana, is possible. The fourth truth outlines the Eightfold Path, a practical guide to break free from samsara. As the Buddha explained in the Dhammapada, verses 127 to 128, neither in the sky nor in the ocean depths, nor in a mountain cleft, nowhere in the world can one escape the consequences of evil deeds. But those who refrain from evil, who live virtuously and cultivate wisdom, they are the ones who transcend samsara. This verse illustrates the inescapable nature of karma and the role it plays in the cycle of rebirth. The mechanism of reincarnation. How and why beings reincarnate. In Buddhism, reincarnation is governed by the law of karma, which states that intentional actions have corresponding results. Positive actions motivated by compassion, generosity, and wisdom lead to favorable outcomes, while negative actions rooted in greed, hatred, and delusion result in suffering. This karmic energy propels the stream of consciousness from one life to the next, determining the circumstances of rebirth. The primary reason beings reincarnate is their attachment to existence and the unresolved karma they carry. The Buddha described this process in the Samyutta Nikaya. All conditioned things are impermanent. Craving is the builder of this house of suffering. Craving, tanha, binds beings to the wheel of samsara, propelling them into new existences. The doctrine of dependent origination, paticca samuppada, explains how ignorance and craving perpetuate the cycle of rebirth. The 12 links in this chain begin with ignorance, avidya, and culminate in aging and death, followed by rebirth. As long as ignorance remains, beings will continue to cycle through samsara. The process of reincarnation begins at the moment of death. when the physical body ceases to function and the stream of consciousness separates. According to the Tibetan Book of the Dead, Bardo Thodol, this transition involves three intermediate states, or bardos. 1. Chika Bardo, the dissolution of the body and the experience of radiant primordial light. Those who recognize this light as their true nature may attain liberation immediately. 2. Chonyad Bardo, the arising of visionary experiences influenced by one's karma. These visions reflect the mental imprints accumulated during one's life. 3. Sidpa Bardo, the search for a new existence, driven by karmic tendencies. At this stage, beings are drawn to conditions that align with their accumulated karma, leading to rebirth in one of the 6 realms. At the moment of death, the state of Chikai Bardo, the physical body begins to dissolve, and the consciousness transitions to the non-physical state. This process involves the sequential dissolution of the 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space, in their corresponding sensory functions. Earth element. The body feels heavy, senses weaken, and vision fades. Water element. Bodily fluids dry up and hearing diminishes. Fire element. The body loses warmth and smell fades. Air element. Breathing becomes erratic and touch weakens. Space element. The mind withdraws, leading to the cessation of thought. The dying person may see lights and feel a pulling or dissolving sensation. The clear light of death manifests the fundamental nature of the mind, pure and luminous. Recognizing this light offers the first chance for liberation. If one can remain calm, recognize the clear light as the essence of their true nature, and merge with it, liberation from the cycle of birth and death, samsara, is possible. If liberation is not achieved in the Chikai Bardo, the consciousness enters the Chonyad Bardo. Here, the individual encounters a series of visions representing their karma and the ultimate nature of reality. The consciousness sees brilliant, colorful lights and encounters peaceful and wrathful deities. These deities symbolize aspects of the mind and the natural energies of reality. For example, the peaceful deities are serene and benevolent figures, often appearing with soft light. The wrathful deities appear fierce and terrifying, surrounded by intense, colorful lights. The bright lights represent the wisdom of enlightenment, while dimmer lights symbolize the pull of samsaric cyclic existence. The individual may feel drawn to the dimmer lights due to fear or attachment, which leads to rebirth. Recognizing the peaceful and wrathful deities as projections of one's own mind and the luminous nature of reality can lead to liberation. Fearlessness and mindfulness are key to transcending this stage. If liberation is not achieved in the Chonyad Bardo, the consciousness enters the Sidpa Bardo, where the process of rebirth begins. This stage is characterized by karmic winds pushing the consciousness toward a new life. The individual sees visions of potential parents engaging in sexual union. Based on karmic imprints, the consciousness is drawn to a specific set of parents and circumstances. If the individual feels attraction toward the mother and aversion toward the father, they are reborn as a male. If they feel attraction toward the father and aversion toward the mother, they are reborn as a female. The womb door represents the final decision point before rebirth. Even at this stage, liberation is possible if one can recognize the karmic pull and detach from desires and aversions. Mindfulness and meditative awareness can prevent rebirth by interrupting the karmic process. From this knowledge of dying process, one may need to grasp or practice the following for liberation. 1. Recognize the nature of the mind. Understanding and recognizing the clear light at the moment of death or during the bardos is crucial for liberation. 2. Overcome fear. Fear and attachment cloud judgment, causing the consciousness to cling to familiar patterns and fall into samsara. Cultivating courage and detachment can lead to liberation. 3. Prepare during life. Tibetan Buddhism emphasizes preparation for death through meditation, mindfulness, and understanding the nature of reality. Practices like phala, transference of consciousness, and meditation on impermanence can help. 4. Guidance from others. The Bardo Thodal encourages loved ones or spiritual guides to recite prayers and reminders to the dying person, helping them recognize the opportunities for liberation. For the beings who become bardos after death, the Tibetan Book of the Dead provides a roadmap for navigating the bardos with the ultimate goal of liberation. It emphasizes the importance of mindfulness, detachment, and recognition of the mind's true nature to transcend the cycle of birth and death. If one can remain calm, recognize the clear light as the essence of their true nature, and merge with it, liberation from the cycle of birth and death, samsara, is possible. Even if liberation is not achieved, the process suggested in the book allows one to work toward better circumstances in the next life. The Buddha elaborated on this process in the Majjhima Nikaya, M38, the Mahatanha Sankhya Sutta. It is volition, monks, that I call karma. For having willed, one acts by body, speech, and mind. This volitional energy, conditioned by ignorance and craving, perpetuates the cycle of birth and death. The 6 realms of existence Buddhism describes 6 realms where beings may be reborn, each reflecting specific karmic conditions. 1. Deva realm, heavenly beings, a realm of pleasure and prosperity resulting from virtuous deeds. However, beings here are prone to complacency and eventually exhaust their merit. 2. Asura realm, demigods, a realm of jealousy and conflict, fueled by ego and competition. 3. Human realm, the most favorable realm for spiritual practice, offering a balance of pleasure and suffering. 4. Animal realm, marked by ignorance and subservience. This realm reflects actions driven by instinct and delusion. 5. Preta realm, hungry ghosts, a realm of insatiable craving, resulting from greed and attachment. 6. Naraka realm, hell, a realm of intense suffering, born from hatred and harmful actions. The Buddhist teachings emphasize the human realm as the ideal platform for liberation. As he stated in the Anguttara Nikaya in 6.54, hard is it to be born as a human being, hard is the life of mortals. Hard is it to gain the opportunity to hear the true Dhamma, and hard is the arising of enlightened beings. How beings can influence their rebirth to reincarnate favorably, cultivating good karma. The quality of one's rebirth is determined by karma, the moral quality of one's actions, thoughts, and intentions. Positive actions lead to favorable rebirths, while negative actions result in less desirable outcomes. The Buddha emphasized the cultivation of virtuous qualities such as generosity, dana, ethical conduct, sila, and mental discipline, vivana, as pathways to higher realms and eventual liberation. In the Digha Nikaya, the Buddha stated, "When a person dwells in loving kindness, develops it, and practices it frequently, his mind becomes vast like the earth. He is reborn in a heavenly realm." Similarly, the Metta Sutta teaches that the practice of loving kindness can safeguard against lower rebirths. To secure a favorable rebirth, practitioners are encouraged to follow the Noble Eightfold Path and cultivate the 10 meritorious deeds. 1. Generosity, Dana. 2. Ethical conduct, Sila. 3. Mental development, Vivana. 4. Reverence. 5. Service. 6. Transference of merit. 7. Rejoicing in others' merit. 8. Teaching the Dharma. 9. Listening to the Dharma. 10. Correcting wrong views. The Buddhist discourse in the Sigalovada Sutta, DN 31, offers practical advice on living ethically, emphasizing the importance of mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom in creating favorable conditions for rebirth. What determines where beings reincarnate? Several factors influence where a being is reborn. 1. Karma. The cumulative effect of one's actions is the primary determinant. 2. State of mind at death. The Buddha taught that the final thoughts or emotions experienced at the moment of death greatly influence the next rebirth. This is why maintaining mindfulness and equanimity is crucial during this transition. 3. Habitual tendencies. Patterns of thought and behavior developed over a lifetime also play a role in shaping the next existence. Scientific perspectives on reincarnation. While reincarnation remains a spiritual concept, certain scientific studies have explored phenomena that appear to support its validity. Dr. Ian Stevenson, a psychiatrist at the University of Virginia, conducted extensive research on children who claimed to remember past lives. His work documented thousands of cases where children provided detailed, verifiable accounts of previous existences. For example, James Leininger, USA, a boy from Louisiana, began having nightmares about crashing in a fighter plane at the age of 2. He described intricate details of World War II fighter planes and their mechanics, naming specific terms and a pilot, James Huston Jr., who died in a plane crash. Research verified that James Huston Jr. was a real person, matching many details the boy described. Another real case is that of Swarnlata Mishra, India. Swarnlata, a girl from India, began describing memories of a past life as a woman named Bia Pathak, who lived in a town about 100 miles away. She recalled specific details about Bia's house, family members, and life events. When taken to the town, she correctly identified Bia's relatives and locations she had never seen before, astonishing everyone with her knowledge. Psychiatrists like Dr. Brian Weiss have used hypnosis to explore past life regression, a method where individuals are guided to access memories of previous lives. While controversial, some cases have yielded compelling narratives. In his book, Many Lives, Many Masters, Weiss recounts the case of Catherine, a patient with chronic anxiety and phobias. Under hypnosis, Catherine described vivid details of past lives, spanning different cultures and eras. She spoke languages she had no prior knowledge of, and described events that aligned with historical records. After revisiting these past life memories, her symptoms reportedly diminished. Modern neuroscience explores the nature of consciousness and whether it is tied exclusively to the brain or could exist independently. There is a quantum consciousness hypothesis. Physicist Roger Penrose and anesthesiologist Stuart Hameroff proposed that consciousness arises from quantum processes within brain microtubules. They theorized that consciousness could persist after death and potentially reincarnate into a new form. Though highly speculative, this hypothesis opens the door to scientific discussions about the nature of the soul, consciousness, and their potential continuity beyond physical death. Anthropologists have noted that reincarnation beliefs exist in many cultures, often with strikingly similar themes despite geographic and cultural differences. For example, the Druze, Middle East, an ethno-religious group in the Levant, believe in reincarnation as a central tenet. Many Druze children reportedly remember past lives, providing verifiable details about deceased individuals. Such universality suggests that reincarnation could be a psychological or cultural phenomenon, deeply rooted in human attempts to understand death and continuity. Additionally, studies on near-death experiences, NDEs, have revealed common themes that resonate with Buddhist teachings on the intermediate state. Many individuals report entering a realm of light and encountering beings who guide them, mirroring descriptions found in the Bardo Thodol. While scientific interpretations of reincarnation remain controversial, research and anecdotal evidence continue to fascinate, paralleling the truth of reincarnation discovered by the Buddha. Whether viewed as spiritual truth, psychological phenomena, or the interplay of consciousness and biology, the idea of reincarnation challenges and deepens our understanding of life, death, and existence itself. Liberation from the cycle. Ultimately, the goal of Buddhist practice is not merely to achieve favorable rebirths, but to transcend samsara altogether. Through diligent practice, one can realize the unconditioned state of nirvana, where the cycle of birth and death ceases. If practitioners often practice mindfulness, detachment, and recognition of the mind's true nature, it would be much easier for them to transcend the cycle of birth and death. The frequent practice of abiding in true mind can tremendously help one familiarize with this brilliant, clear light, the fundamental nature of the mind, pure and luminous. Or if often chanting Amitabha Buddha's name or visualizing his luminous image when alive and at death, this practitioner will liberate from the cycle easily. If practitioners are familiar with the nature of the mind that is clear light when being alive, then, at the moment of death, they are well prepared and can remain calm. If one can remain calm at this moment, recognize the clear light as the essence of their true nature, and merge with it, liberation from the cycle of birth and death, samsara, is achievable. As the Buddha declared in the Udana 8.3, there is monks, an unborn, unbecome, unmade, and unconditioned. If there were not this unborn, unbecome, unmade, and unconditioned, no escape would be discerned from what is born, become, made, and conditioned. But since there is an unborn, unbecome, unmade, and unconditioned, therefore an escape is discerned. This timeless wisdom continues to inspire practitioners, offering a path of hope, transformation, and ultimate liberation. Conclusion. The Buddhist concept of reincarnation offers a profound lens through which to understand the interconnected nature of existence, karma, and the pursuit of liberation. Unlike the fixed notion of a soul prevalent in other traditions, Buddhism emphasizes a dynamic continuum of consciousness shaped by volitional actions and their karmic consequences. This teaching serves as both a moral compass and a guide for spiritual practice, urging individuals to cultivate mindfulness, ethical conduct, and wisdom to break free from samsara. Reincarnation is not merely a metaphysical doctrine, but a practical framework for navigating life's challenges and opportunities with accountability and purpose. Its relevance extends beyond spiritual contexts, inspiring scientific inquiry into consciousness and its mysteries. While the journey through the bardos and the realms of existence may seem esoteric, the essence of Buddhist teachings on reincarnation is universal. Liberation from suffering is attainable through self-awareness, compassion, and intentional living. Ultimately, the Buddhist view of reincarnation invites us to transcend fear, attachment, and ignorance, offering a path toward freedom and enlightenment. Whether explored through the lens of spirituality, science, or personal introspection, reincarnation challenges us to reflect deeply on the impermanence of life and the boundless potential for growth and transformation. Thank you for listening. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Feel free to leave a comment sharing the insights you gained. Your reflections may inspire and enlighten others on their own paths. Wishing you peace, happiness, and well-being. See you next time.